You are looking at Universitas Indonesia campus. Thousands of people use this environment every day. Accessibility determines how safe and comfortable the campus is for all users, including those with physical limitation. These videos will evaluate how engineering design in UI support accessibility and where it falls short.
We start with the architecture of UI. Many buildings look modern, functional, proper, but not all are accessible. Some ramps exist, but not all meet proper slope standards. Several buildings have third floors without lifts. Many corridors and doors are too narrow for wheelchairs. These issues show that accessibility is still inconsistent across the campus. We also observe toilets, stairs, pathways, and entrance points. Some areas follow basic accessibility principles. Others do not have enough space, support bars, or slip-resistant flooring. The architecture often appears complete from the outside, but the internal layout does not always support users with disabilities. This contrast shows that the design and the real usability are not always aligned. To understand the institutional and architectural perspective, we're going to interview Mr. Ajib, Director of Operational Facilities and Asset Management at the University of Indonesia, and Ms. Zafira, an architectural expert in accessibility and inclusive design. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Focus Group 1. My name is Razzan as an interviewer for the interviewee, and here with me is Mr. Ajib as the Director of Facilities in Universitas Indonesia. So our topic is about accessibility for disabled people in University of Indonesia. So how are you, Mr. Ajib?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, in this interview, I will ask you some questions regarding facilities that support our friends from disabled people, and probably there are seven questions that I will ask you. First of all, let's start with the common question. What is the most important thing that has to be improved so that University of Indonesia has better accessibility and is comfortable to everyone, including disabled person?
Yeah, it is our commitment to serve inclusivity, including students and people who have a disability. We already start with the regulation, of course. For example, from our duty is to plan based on the design. For example, the toilet with the support disability, how to design, how to create. We already have a regulation and the book here to make this standard, and also. And then we try to implement in Universitas Indonesia this regulation also been applied not only in the central of administration, I mean in PAU, but also in the faculty and school things.
Okay. So the next questions will talking about the University of Indonesia perspective toward disabled inclusivity. So how University of Indonesia sees the inclusivity of students, academia, and common people who are disabled in the context of public service ethics and institutional responsibility.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we start with the regulation and implementations, and then we still make a continual improvement by evaluating the regulation and also how to our regulation implemented in faculty in many places. And then after evaluation, also we make an improvement. For example, in the next year, I have a cascade for the kind of kontrak kinerja, and to make the every lecture facility, I mean class, can be accessed by wheelchair.
So for the next question, how far is the infrastructure and facility in University of Indonesia right now that has followed the disabled-friendly design standard? Is there any gap in terms of the needs of the disabled and the actual conditions?
Yeah, always, because as you know that disability come with various broad spectrum. I mean, sometimes blind, how to say, make a proper mention. Disability in terms of walking, disability of others things. Yeah, we start with common. Common means that, for example, disability difficulty for make normal walking. Yeah, so for example, those who are using wheelchair, we focus on that firstly, because it is, I think, more common. For example, people with accident, for example, during curing, and then they need a wheelchair, but they still can join with lecturing, and then we provide access to that, something like that.
Okay. And then, what are the technical or operational challenges that has been faced by the designer, builder, or modifier of disabled facility in University of Indonesia?
Yeah, sometimes when we plan and then we try to implement, we need to make a good communication, particularly with the engineer. Engineer, I mean, is the implementator or vendor, yeah, that built that facility, to make sure that our standard comply with they build, something like that.
Okay, the main factor that causes some facilities or buildings in University of Indonesia that aren't fully disabled friendly in UI, is it because of initial design, technological limitations, or other factors?
It is a mixed cause, yeah. Sometimes we try to design comply with the disability, but sometimes because of limited budget, so we need to not to avoid, but for the initial step, maybe we try to fulfill some part, and then we make a plan, staging, something like that. So, for example, in first year, we provide the wheelchair disability, and then next is to those who are blind. Next step for other disability, but yeah, we need to make a proper plan to realize.
Actually, that's all for the questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajib, for giving your opinion about disability, accessibility for in University of Indonesia. I'm sorry if there is some wrong words from me. That's all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We're from Focus Group 1 discussing about accessibility for disabled people in University of Indonesia. Right now, myself, Zidna, Fann, with me, Kazafira from Architectural Department as the one of the facilitator, ya, Kak? And we're gonna ask some questions regarding facilities for accessible disabled people. So, how are you, Kak?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Let's jump into the question. For the first question, what is the most important thing that has to be improved so that university has better accessibility and is comfortable to everyone, including disabled person?
I think the first one is the understanding what exactly the disabled person need. Like, for example, not every disabled person will need the same thing. Some might need like accessibility in terms of like wheelchair use, for example, then the sizing or maybe the access for example, like now we can see that all of the ramps are already connected towards one thing and another, but at the same time you also need to understand what exactly the sizing requirement for a person who, for example, using a wheelchair need to have. Some people might not be able to use the standard sizing, for example, a chair that you're using right now or the chair that we're using in the classroom. So the first thing is always about the understanding what is the requirement.
Okay. For the next questions, based on your professional understanding, how do you perceive the University of Indonesia's current approach toward accessibility and inclusivity for disabled students, staff, and visitors? In what ways do you think university policies and design decisions reflect ethical and responsible public service in terms of accessibility engineering?
If we reflect to what we have in faculty of engineering, we can see that there are quite some attempts to include all of the disabled person in terms of our infrastructure, but at the same time we can say that it is not enough. For example, we're currently in a laboratory where the access is in the second floor and we don't have any lift for the disabled person to be able to go there, and we don't have any ramp as well. That is quite a critical condition for our students who may not be able to access the lobby through the stairs, or maybe don't have the access to go through the scan fingerprint. So that we can say that there has been some attempts, but it's just not enough for them.
Okay. From an engineering and architectural evaluation, to what extent do current facilities and infrastructure at University of Indonesia comply with established accessibility design standards? Do you observe notable gaps between the practical needs of disabled users and the existing built environment?
Yeah, there's quite a huge gap actually. So for example, the place where I'm from, I'm currently residing in UK. Okay. So most of the area will have specific toilet, for example, for disabled people, because they will require different kind of amenities or different kind of tools and kind of like assistance. For example, the toilet will have a different sizing, different kind of stainless steels, and so on and so forth. And then they will also have bigger gaps, bigger doors, bigger corridors, and so on and so forth. But for now, we don't think we do have any separate areas for the disabled person, separate infrastructure and facilities for the disabled person.
Okay. For the next questions, what are the main engineering or architectural challenges encountered when designing, retrofitting, or upgrading accessibility features within University Indonesia's various building and other spaces? Are these related to structural constraints, regulatory limitations, or complexity of integrating new systems into older infrastructures?
Yeah, there will be always structural considerations and also constraints, but at the same time, I believe that the lack of standardization of design is quite a lacking thing here. So for example, I don't think we currently have a standard how we should design facilities, educational facilities or laboratory that include all of those disabled person or maybe people with other needs as well. So those research that the architecture department may already been doing, or maybe other department of architecture been doing, should come as the standardization or policy that the university should implement in every infrastructure design and implementation.
Actually, that's all for the questions. I wanted to say thank you to Kak Zafira for giving your time to having an interview with us. And that's all from us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
From this perspective, a clear picture appears. Universitas Indonesia regulation exists. The intention is strong, but architecture often fails to meet the real requirements of accessibility. Facilities are present, but scattered and not integrated. Many buildings are usable for regular user, but not for disabled user.
Short-term improvements can be done now. Adjusting ramp angles, replacing slippery floors, widening doors, adding support handles, repairing broken pathways, ensuring contractors follow the accessibility rules and standards. These actions improve their experience with low costs.
Long-term progress requires a full strategy. UI needs to collect data on how many disabled users are on campus and what they need. UI must standardize architectural and engineering requirements across all faculties. Universal design must be included from the beginning of every building plan. UI also needs stable funding and collaboration with partners or CRR programs to support major upgrades.
Accessibility is not only a technical issue. It reflects fairness, equal opportunity, and responsible engineering. A campus that supports accessibility allows everyone to learn, move, and participate without barriers.
Our project shows that UI can become a fully inclusive campus. The foundation is already there. With better design, stronger standards, and consistent implementation, UI can ensure that its architecture serves every user with dignity and safety.